joining us for more on this confrontation between Narendra Modi government and some of the governors who were appointed during UPA regime is Subhash Kashyap, constitutional expert. Also joining us from the BJP is Sudhanshu Mittal. Mr. Mittal, if I could come to you first, isn't this vindictiveness, witch hunt on the part of Narendra Modi government to do exactly the same what was done back in 2004 when the BJP had cried horse and moved the Supreme Court after the removal of some of the governors who were appointed by the then Vajpayee government?
Not the Vajpayee government, but the Manmohan Singh government. Secondly, let me correct you, BJP never moved the court. Now, let's come down to the present issue. If I have the list of governors in front of me here, it has five of them who are former chief ministers of Congress, including Sheila Dikshit ji, J.B. Patnaik, Jagannath Pahadia, S.C. Jamir, and Ram Naresh Yadav ji. It has strong political activists who have been ministers otherwise, like Shivraj Patil ji, former Home Minister. It has Margaret Alva ji. It has Patil ji. 6 chief ministers, sorry. Rashaiya ji also from Andhra Pradesh, she was a chief minister. So, if this is the background of the people who are supposed to represent the interest of the central government, who should be the interlocutors between the central government and the state government, is it fair? In democracy, let's respect the verdict of people.
No, I want to know the grounds on which you are seeking the removal of these governors. Because if this goes into a legal tangle, you'd have to perhaps explain the same to the Supreme Court. The grounds on which you're seeking the removal of these 6 governors.
In this Supreme Court judgment, may I also point out something? It very clearly says there is no reason to assign the reasons for removal of the governor, that he is not enjoying the pleasure of the president. The president, it is not obligatory, it is not mandatory to record the reason. So why a particular governor or whoever it is has lost the pleasure of the president is not to be recorded.
All right. So clearly it's the government's discretion that you're mentioning, that you're quoting from the Supreme Court order of 2010. Let me in fact bring in Mr. Subhash Kashyap for more on that to get a sense of what really the Supreme Court judgment there really said. It said governors cannot be removed in arbitrary, capricious or unreasonable manner. So far, we don't know the reasons that are going to be cited. What we understand is that the Home Department, the Home Ministry, in fact, had informed some of these governors. B.L. Joshi had resigned, and there could be a cascading effect. Mr. Kashyap, as you understand the Supreme Court judgment, is it really plainly on the centre's discretion on removing these governors?
The Supreme Court judgment is being selectively quoted by different people. If you look at the judgment, the position is that the Supreme Court has categorically said that unless a very strong case, the actual words used are, unless a very strong prima facie case is made out that removal of a governor is capricious, whimsical, arbitrary, mala fide, etc., the court will not interfere. And although judicial review is permissible, but it is a very limited judicial review. And the court has also said that while removing a governor or any governors, it is not necessary for the union government or the president to give reasons, but there must be some reason. It cannot be done without any reason, and the reason must be recorded. And in case there is a prima facie case of mala fide, etc., then the court can look into it. That precisely is the 2014 judgment in BP Singhal versus Union of India. So normally the courts will not interfere. Normally Article 156, which says that governors hold office during the pleasure of the president, that holds, which means that the governors who are appointed by the union government have to go when the union government wants them to go. But
right,
the union
but the
government
Supreme Court
has to
also
give
did say, sir, that
reasons.
governors cannot be removed with change of power. And as you mentioned, each side is selectively quoting from the Supreme Court's judgment of 2010. Let me take that question now to Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal of the BJP. As we understand, one of the governors, Sheila Dikshit, is holding a ground. She is seeking a written order from the Home Ministry. This could snowball into a major confrontation. How exactly is the BJP planning to tackle it?
Let's first make a distinction between a resignation by a governor and the dismissal of a governor. 156(2) says, the governor shall hold office during the pleasure of the president. 156(2) says the governor may, by writing under his hand address to the president, resign his office. What is sought to be done is requesting the governors to resign, because in light of the new circumstances, the fairness, the propriety and the desirability is sought to be explained. I think the debate is slightly premature, that till the time the governor is not removed or dismissed, really going into the reasons of whether it's a valid reason or not a valid reason,
right,
is I guess very premature.
All right,
what
Mr.
is sought to be
Mittal,
done is
I request you to hold your thought, because we are getting some more information about the probable governors, a new list that is being prepared by the BJP. Let's bring that in. Well, Headlines today is now learning that the Modi government has lined up several names who could replace the governors that were appointed during the UPA regime. Probables who could become governors include Kalyan Singh of the BJP, who's also been Chief Minister from Uttar Pradesh, Balram Das Tandon, CP Thakur, Kailash Joshi, Kesri Nath Tripathi and VK Malhotra. Well, these are some of the names that are doing the rounds. Let's get more information from Deepak Sharma, who's joining us on the phone line. Deepak, what more can you tell us?
These are the probables, Rustika, which, the brainstorming session is going on, and Rajnath would be forwarding this list after consultations with the BJP top brass, and the final stamp will be obviously of Narendra Modi. Now, most of the leaders are from Uttar Pradesh, like Kesri Nath Tripathi, who was the former Speaker of Uttar Pradesh. And then former Chief Minister Kalyan Singh is also there. Lalji Tandon, aide of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he's not in the list. Earlier he was, but now right now he's not in the list. One thing more, finally, one more names are also doing round, and that would be of Yashwant Sinha, but that's not final.
All right.
Have revealed.
All right, Deepak, thanks for getting us the list of probable governors which are being prepared right now in the BJP office. Mr. Mittal, I'd like to bring you in here. You questioned, you in fact quoted from the Supreme Court judgment, but clearly this is a constitutional post and the appointments are clearly political in nature, even as we're seeing a regime change.
That's why I think the larger debate, what we should be addressing today is there a justification on part of, say, a Sheila Dikshit ji to continue to be the governor? Just before the elections, the results are announced, she's sworn in as a governor, knowing very well the fate. Such, I would say, such undesirable methodologies have been adopted for political ends. Is this right? Is this justifiable? Is it right for all these former chief ministers of Congress to aspire to represent now the NDA regime? Would they do justice with what they are doing? Would they really with the interlocutors? Would they be working with the spirit with which the central government wants them to work vis-a-vis the state?
All right, the spirit with which the centre would want the governors to work in. And these are constitutional posts that we are talking about, which have serious political undertones. And let me bring in Mr. Kashyap on that. Mr. Kashyap, since governors are political appointments now by ruling party, done on the basis of political considerations, is it now natural to see the sort of purge that we are seeing each time there is a regime change in the country?
I look at it differently. I believe the governors are appointed by the union government or the president, and they hold office during the pleasure of the union government. If the union government is a continuing thing, I do not see it as UPA or NDA. Government is a continuing thing. When the government gives indication to a governor or to some governors that they are no more wanted, then I think it is only proper that the governor or governors concerned consult their self-respect and the dignity of their office and walk out.
Well, this could certainly turn into a major controversy with some of the governors who were appointed during the UPA's term now refusing to put in their papers. Sheila Dikshit, prominent among those. We'd leave it there for the moment. We'll, of course, continue to track developments in this big political story at the moment, Modi government versus the governors. For the moment, Sudhanshu Mittal and Professor Kashyap, thank you both for joining us. Well, time